the wounded child and navigating a relationship with the wounded child. I have to be careful here because I don't want to speak. I want to make sure it's clear that not all wounded children are exactly the same. Just like everybody else, everybody's different. Everybody has different, personalities, different things, different backgrounds, etc. But I'm going to talk about the hallmark signs, the most noticeable signs of a wounded child. And first and foremost, I hope that you spent time with the person and you actually went through some stuff with them, because that's really the only way to know who they really are. Because I'll tell you this, wounded children are typically the masters of people pleasing and being whatever you want them to be. And it's not a by design thing, it's just part of being a wounded child. Because the wounded child doesn't know who they are and they don't feel accepted, they feel bad about themselves, so they are searching for a place to belong and to feel good about themselves. So be careful of that. And you should be careful of that with anybody, because anybody can wear a mask for a short time, but the mask always comes off. The difference is with the wounded child, it goes one of two ways. Either every wounded child is reactive in some way, and they have triggers. Some wounded children are internally triggered, so they have internal coping mechanisms, such as they'll withdraw, they'll become sad and depressed and needy. And then you have the other ones who are reactive in an explosive kind of way. And I'll tell you what, it takes a strong person to withstand that. I'm going to tell you right now. So don't be surprised if it happens. If you are with somebody who has a reactive personality, you need to learn how to deal with that, because it will, perpetually scar you if you allow it to. And I'm not trying to deter anybody from being in a relationship with a wounded child, because like I said, I was a wounded child. And, I'm a pretty good person. It doesn't mean that they're bad people, because wounded children are not bad people. It's not their fault that they're wounded, but as an adult, they are responsible for their actions. So it's a very slippery slope if, you are in a relationship with a wounded child, because number one, you cannot put demands on them. You can't demand that they fix it. You can't demand that they heal, because you know what? It's not going to happen. The only way to heal the wounded child is if somebody truly wants to heal and fix it. And until they are at that point, there's not any threat, any, ultimatum, nothing is going to work. Nothing. And they're going to tell you that they're fine. Probably. Maybe not, but more than likely, yeah, they will. I did that for a lot of years. So anyway, if you are with somebody who is a reactive, explosive wounded child, fasten your seatbelt. And I'm going to tell you how to navigate this so it doesn't harm you, because you do not want to be collateral damage. You do not. Because then you're just, it's like perpetuating vicious cycles, and it's not good. If you are with somebody who is reactive and explosive and they react over, you may not even know what they're reacting about or over, but they become irrational. Plain and simple. Because they're dealing from an irrational mindset. So their explosions are going to be irrational. And you're going to try to diffuse the situation, or you're going to try to control the situation. There's no controlling it. Because there's no rational thought there. You're not coming from a rational standpoint, so you can't use logic and rationale to deal with them. You can't. The best thing to do, walk away. It may be difficult, because sometimes they make threats and they say things that are really, really hurtful. They do. And that's why I say it takes a strong person to withstand that and to understand that even though they are speaking the words, it's not coming from a real place. It's coming from an irrational standpoint. Now, this also is not meant to get them off the hook, because you know what? They are responsible for what they do and who they hurt. I firmly stand behind that. As an adult, we are all responsible for ourselves. Wounded children who are not healed and who have not gone through the healing process, like I said, can go one of two ways. Neither one, when they're triggered, is a good time. Plain and simple. When a wounded child is triggered, it's not going to be fun. And it's not going to be easy. It can be done as long as you realize and you understand, you tell yourself as they are screaming hateful things at you or they are completely shutting you out, that it's not against you. It's they've been triggered by something from their childhood and they are acting out against that, and you are going to be the one who gets the brunt of it. It's not easy and it's not fun. But if you don't allow it to, get you internally and really reach the point where it's really affecting you, you'll be okay. But just know that there's no argument in the world that's going to make them go, oh, you're right, I'm wrong. Nothing. Because there's no rationale there, none. They just lose all sense of rational thought, and they don't have any rational thought, and they're incapable of having irrational rational thought because they are dealing from a fixed mindset, which is negative and reactive and false. So make sure that before you, move in with somebody or even enter a committed relationship, that you've been through some stuff with them and you know their tendencies, so that not only, can you withstand it, but you can also help guide them through and support. Do not enable. Do not set your boundaries and say, this is what I'll stand for, this is what I won't stand for, and stand by that. Do not enable them because it will just perpetuate the problem. But it's not an easy road. And that's not to say that it can't be a great relationship. It can. But just know that an unhealed, wounded child is not their authentic self. So when they speak negativity, and there's going to be a lot of negativity from a wounded child, that's where they live. That's what their beliefs are. And that's what the problem is. And you can't change that. Only they can change that. So make sure that you really have been through some stuff with somebody before you commit. And I say this to everybody, not just, people who are with wounded children, but across the board. You should always wait until you've been through some stuff so that you really know what they're made of. Because you deserve that. Don't fall for the sunshine and lollipops thing. Because life is not sunshine and lollipops. Life is hard. Life is, really hard sometimes. And you need to know what the person is made of before you commit to a partnership and a relationship with them. Remember that. And this is not just wounded child, it's all people. Because different people have different ways of coping with difficult things. And if you don't mesh with somebody, don't enter a relationship with them.